Hi everyone, my name is Jade Harper and I have a quick question for you. Why did the electric car go to court? It's because it was charged with battery. Today I'm going to be speaking with you about a very important inventor of the early 1800s, and his name is Robert Anderson. Robert Anderson is a very important inventor because he invented the very first electric carriage. This is very important because with Robert Anderson inventing the very first electric carriage, it was a huge stepping stone for inventors moving forward and companies moving forward with the idea of electric vehicles. Robert Anderson was born in Scotland on June 14th, 1805. Now, the personal life of Robert Anderson is pretty much non-existent, but the thing that he's most famous for and known for is his invention of the first electric crude carriage. Now, I have never heard about Robert Anderson before this, but it is very important to learn about this because it's just a huge stepping stone in history for electric vehicles. According to Robert Strainer from Sparking Up, the first electric carriage was invented by an Aberdonian named Robert Anderson, who created a self-propelled vehicle powered by a non-rechargeable primary cell battery in the early 1830s. Anderson invented his first electric crude carriage in 1832. And he also built his carriage in Aberdeen, which is a small port city in the northeast of Scotland. Now, imagining that this was the very first electric vehicle, very first electric carriage that was invented, and it was also invented in the 1830s, you can imagine that it wasn't the most stable, it also wasn't the most reliable, wasn't the best model. According to Mike May from The Former Life of the Electric Car, it didn't get very far. For one thing, its battery wasn't good enough. It also faced a very stiff competition against steam-powered cars. With that being said though, even though it wasn't the best model of an electric vehicle, and it wasn't very sturdy, wasn't super reliable, that doesn't take away its importance of the invention itself. So with that being said, let's break down the different components of Robert Anderson's very first electric carriage. The first component is that Robert Anderson's electric carriage only had one wheel and didn't have any type of steering mechanism in the carriage itself. The second component is that he used a disposable battery. So he also used crude oil, which helped produce and generate electricity throughout the carriage to help it run. The third component is that Robert Anderson's carriage only went up to 12 kilometers per hour. And the fourth component is that his carriage worked by transferring electric energy to the wheel, which would then propel the carriage forward, which would help it move. The last component is that his battery in his carriage was placed at the front of the carriage in a compartment, and the power of the carriage is transferred to the wheel through two separate metal brushes. Robert Anderson presented his invention at an industry exhibition in 1835, which is where it got a lot of recognition. Going back to what I said before, Robert Anderson's invention definitely was a huge stepping stone in electric vehicles. It definitely helped inspire many different inventors, many different companies moving forward to produce the best kind of electric vehicle. For some examples for this are in 1907, the General Vehicle Company of Long Island created a 5-ton electric truck. And then in 1923, General Vehicles created a 10-ton Arctic electric vehicle. And then in 1928, an inventor named Garrett converted steam wagons and made them diesel powered. And then also in 1930, General Vehicles also made an electric rigid six-wheeler electric vehicle, and in 1964, the Electric Vehicle Association claimed to have over 100,000 electric vehicles in Great Britain. Robert Anderson's creation was super important, and it helped give companies different ideas to make electric vehicles the best that they could be. It was a great stepping stone. Who was to say that before Robert Anderson's invention that someone would even think about this? So this is definitely a huge and very important part of history, because it definitely helped the world be a better place. According to Richard Stainer from Sparking Up, in the early years of motorized transport, electric vehicles made a significant contribution alongside steam-powered vehicles, steam-powered wagons, and internal combustion engine-powered machines, which at the time were powered by kerosene, paraffin, and petrol at these times. Thank you.